Hey guys, Ryan here, and today I'm going to bring you another featured replay featuring one of my subscribers. He's been in the comment section quite a lot. I do see him quite often, and I do always respond to his messages, and he contacted me asking me if I would commentate one of his replays in the Tier 9 British light tank, the GSOR. And obviously I was very excited to do that, one because a subscriber wanted me to commentate on his video is very exciting, and I do like doing that, and two, it's a tank I've never featured. Now it is Tier 10 game, and it is going to be Jimmy-Wooo in the tank today. Now, that's not his name in the YouTube comment section. You'll see his name, I'm sure, in this video. I asked him if he wanted to tell me how to pronounce that, so I could say it at the beginning of this video, or if he wanted me to just try and guess and embarrass myself. He saved me the embarrassment and told me I could just call him by his World of Tanks name, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to refer to him from this point on as Jimmy. So I said Tier 10 game on Redshire, which is a very good map for light tanks. However, and I didn't notice this till a bit further in the replay, this was during the True Vision test, so True Vision is active during this game. Jimmy did tell me that the tank was not fully upgraded. So bear that in mind. He's got the 85mm gun, not the 90mm gun. And actually I'm going to take a quick break before talking about the stats of this vehicle, because look at that enemy light tank. The Tier 10 British light tank, the Manicore, comes straight over. I don't know how else to describe what he's doing other than stupid. Jimmy unfortunately misses the shot. And the Manicore just got shit on. Now the other thing I thought of when I saw that was, that's a Vanguard driver if ever I've seen one. So that's been dealt with. Tier 10 light tank out the game, which is always really nice when you're in your light tanks. And Jimmy's going to take this position at the rock to shoot. And you're going to see, he's going to aim for the GSOR first, and after this shot, when he goes back up to the rock, this is the moment when I noticed that it was True Vision mode. He's going to come up here, and you can see the GSOR and the T-57 Heavy. Now, I'm going to take a quick break from what's happening in-game to discuss the stats of this vehicle. Excuse me. Now, I didn't look at TanksCG for the stats, because a lot of PC tanks are different to the console tanks and stats. And what I found between the fully upgraded GSOR and the middle package is that they're basically the same tank. There isn't much difference. Excellent shot in the T-57 Heavy, by the way, at long range. I'm surprised that panned. So, Jimmy's GSOR here, not fully upgraded, only has 0.1 second worse aim time. It's got the same accuracy as the fully upgraded tank, the same gun depression, 6mm less standard pan, but 4mm more premium pan. It only lacks about 90 DPM compared to the fully upgraded gun, and the fully upgraded gun still got bad DPM. And actually, cut the 85mm gun weighs less than the 90mm, this non-upgraded GSOR actually has a slightly better power to weight ratio. It's only slight, but it's there. So, quite interesting. But I will be getting these tanks in the future, don't worry, so I will be playing them myself because I want to have every Tier 10 British vehicle. Did you guys see that shot? Jimmy auto-locked him. The aiming reticle wasn't even over the tank when he fired, and it somehow hit him. I don't know how to explain that, other than being extremely lucky, but you just have to accept those when they come. So, I'm sure Jimmy wasn't complaining about hitting that shot. Now, he's coming over for the surprise. Unfortunately, the machine just happened to be looking that way, because of his friendly tanks, and he does take one shot from it. He does back out for realizing that now that his team's actually here, the light tanks come over, the action 10's here, he's going to run back in and actually pick up the kill on the machine. And I'm going to be very impressed with Jimmy's movement throughout this game. He moves a lot, and he does a lot of this opportunistic pushes on enemy vehicles. I quite like the aggressive play, so he picks the right moment and then pushes in to get a shot in before escaping again. And I do quite like the more aggressive play style. Something else I noticed, which made me quite happy, is that Jimmy uses the small mini-map. A lot of people say he's used the big one. I personally just like using the small one, so it was nice to see someone else who likes using the small one. The Centurion ammo rack 10 there, getting its customary ammo rack damaged, as is necessary every game you ever play in the Action 10. That gets picked up, and you see Jimmy's going to start moving in for the spots again. Now it's for T-57 Heavy. Shoots on the move, and then backs out. Now, I think at this point he's probably looking at that E4 and he's thinking of going in to help his teammate with that. However, his teammate gets picked up, and then I think he notices the artillery. And not only should you kill artillery as a matter of principle and focus them, but on a map like this, that artillery has the potential to cause great harm to his team by just one-shotting them and annihilating them. So, removing that tank in this map, very useful. And there is Jimmy's second kill of the game. And now he's going to start retreating from this side where more enemy tanks are, and he's going to go fight the lone E4 who's gotten himself separated from the rest of his team. And the other thing is, Jimmy's Andre the Giant on his team is actually overfighting the E4. Now, what's going to happen here is quite interesting. The Andre the Giant's a one-shot, so what's going to happen is, as Jimmy comes over here, he is spotted, so the E4 probably knows he's on his way. The Andre's going to fire, and the E4's going to focus the Andre and ignore Jimmy. Now, that's the right choice to make, because he can one-shot the Andre. So now Jimmy's just behind the E4, and he can just farm him. This is where you notice the shocking DPM of this vehicle. You have the back of an E4, he's just fired. Most of the light tanks, if they weren't autoloaders, you'd just be absolutely shredding him right now at tier 9. But the DPM, making it quite annoying, but thankfully, you know, you're in a light tank as an E4, you can try and out-traverse him. Unfortunately, track and turret traverse combined, the E4 actually almost gets him. Nice little handbrake turn. Fortunately didn't pick up the kill. And time to move on again. Something else I forgot to notice, this gun, which isn't the fully upgraded one, the 85, compared to the fully upgraded 90, only 10 alpha damage difference. So, again, the fully upgraded GSOR and the not fully upgraded GSOR, basically the same tank. Now, he's going to start being on the move because he's obviously been spawned and start moving towards his teammate. And something quite funny is about to happen, and I hope Jimmy can explain in the comment section what happened here. Bit of a lapse of concentration. Yep, flips himself on the rock. Now, thankfully the enemy team's at the other side of the map. The reason being, normally this wouldn't be too big of an issue because he's not spotted, but in true vision mode, flipping yourself like that could have been catastrophic if there was an enemy tank who was able to see him. So, I never actually thought about the consequences of flipping your tank during true vision mode, but they could have been horrifying. Thankfully, most of the enemies are on this side. And again, here comes the aggressive play. Pushing in for the opportunistic shot. Auto lock, shot in, and now trying to run again now that the enemies will start looking at him. Again, these kind of hit and run tactics he's doing are more fun than just, you know, the passive scouting way of playing World of Tanks. Something else I want to notice is that, or mention, is that Jimmy repaired the fuel tanks there. Now, I'm not a super unicum, but I'll just throw in my opinions on what I think he should have done. I don't think he should have repaired the fuel tanks. Reason being, when the fuel tanks get damaged twice, they get set on fire. But Jimmy has a fire extinguisher, so he could have saved the repair kit in case he got ammo racked, or tracked. And like, in a tank with this bad DPM, getting ammo racked would be horrible. At the same time, he's got a manual fire extinguisher, so maybe he didn't want to take the unnecessary damage whilst he was trying to use it, compared to an automatic one. But overall, my advice would be, if you have a fire extinguisher, don't use the repair kit on your fuel tanks. Now he manually aims a shot in at the Conqueror, and now he's going to backward and forward, which is probably the right thing to do, because even though you're in bushes, true vision mode, you want to stay in the move, just in case someone can see him. And now he's auto-locking the Conqueror, which is not going to work. He should be manually aiming these shots. But he doesn't, so unfortunately doesn't pick up the kill. The Action 10's hull down. See Jimmy trying to find a shot, but there's not really much he can get. And the interesting thing is, the IS-4 hasn't been spotted in a while. So Jimmy's going to move in with his teammate. But the Action 10 gets absolutely obliterated before Jimmy can get there. One other thing I want to mention to Jimmy is, I've noticed that the health bars on the enemy tanks are just solid bars. They don't actually have a percentage or a number there. I would recommend going to the options and changing it so you can see the amount of like the actual number of the amount of hit points a tank has left, whether it be like 768 or 327, because if you can see the exact amount of health a tank has, that can help you decide whether it's worth to commit to attack. So, if you have a 400 alpha damage gun, if you can see someone's on exactly 368 hit points, you can decide, okay, I'm going to push and try and get this kill because I've got a high chance of one-shotting him. So, it's only a slight thing, but I'd recommend just trying it, because again, with your kind of play here, for example, where you like to push in and get these opportunistic shots, if you can tell exactly how much hit points the enemy tank is on, you can then tell if you've got a good chance of one-shotting him or not, which might affect how you do things. Again, I'm not a super unicum. Play however you prefer, whatever works for you, and as this game's going pretty well at the moment, this fully works. But, just a small thing of advice that could help. IS-4 gets him, and Jimmy does not have the repair skill by the look of it, and that's where the repair kit could have come in handy that used in the fuel tanks earlier. Thankfully the IS-4 misses, but if that was a medium tank, for example, that tracked him, Jimmy would have been screwed there, after getting tracked the first time. So, again, if your fuel tanks are damaged, only repair them if you don't have a fire extinguisher. In my opinion. And now I love what Jimmy's doing here. He's going to relocate, because you never want to attack from the same direction you were just spotted from. And he's going to come all the way around, going to use these buildings as cover. Have a quick glance, doesn't spot him. But thankfully, with a Death Star on the hill and an artillery, he's got plenty of people to shoot at this IS-4. It means the assistant is just going to be raking in however many hit points the IS-4 has left. Now he manually aims this shot, which I very much like. But I have to be careful now, because he is most definitely a one-shot. And the buzzers can make it a bit hard to tell where his turret's pointing. Tries the old auto-lock snapshot again, doesn't quite work. And this game, overall, I just loved the hit-and-run tactics. I love the fact he actually spotted, which I know a lot of people do in light tanks, but I don't, because I'm shit at spotting. But he got basically the similar amount of damage to spotting, which is very good, and overall almost 8k combined, just under 4k damage and about 3600 assistance. It lost a little bit of silver because he doesn't have a premium count, and this was definitely a nice tank with 2 kills, and it was a Confederate, so a really nice game from Jimmy in his GSOR. And it was a pleasure to watch this, especially with the little mistake in the rock, and I'll expect to see your comment telling me why that happened. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.